He's a man, such a man, such a man. He's a real man's man.
What's going on, everyone? Once again, we are Tankers Fantasy Football here. We're going to hit you up with another mock draft, doing 12-team PPR here for you.
Always got to hit another one of them 12-team PPR mock drafts. I know that's what a majority of everyone does. It's been about a month since we've done one. Things have changed. Training camp have started. Injuries have happened, and we're going to hit you up with another one.
So what we're doing is here, I'm taking at the 6th spot, and you're taking at the 11 hole here.
Pulling at the 11.
All right.
All right, people.
Let's see. Once again, here it's pretty chalk. We got David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell going off 1 and 2 here.
Kind of a surprise move here at Julio Jones going 3 overall. That guy must be a Julio Jones lover, taking him over even Antonio Brown. And I know Ezekiel Elliott does have this looming possible couple of game suspension that may or may not happen. But, I mean, that's a reason to take him over him. But to take Julio Jones over Antonio Brown, who is way more healthy and
yeah, it's been
less injury prone.
Been the number 1 PPR wide receiver the last 3 years? It's either last 2 or last 3 years, just insanely consistent. That you have seen the Ezekiel Elliott effect. He just went number 4, but in about, I'd say the last week or two, about every mock I see, he has fallen out of the top 3. And usually it has been Antonio Brown, though, with that number 3 spot.
We got Odell Beckham just went 5. I mean, my goodness, Antonio Brown is still on the board. And I'm not hating on Julio Jones or Odell Beckham by any means, but you got to take him. Stop the madness.
Number 6 overall, I don't think there's any question I'm taking Antonio Brown. I just locked up an elite fantasy player there for getting him in the mid-first.
You had to stop the bleeding out there. We got kind of another surprise pick at 7 overall. This is the highest I've seen Jordy go possibly all offseason. I mean, my goodness, 7 overall is some serious Jordy love out there when there's still guys like Mike Evans and even A.J. Green still available. You're going Jordy Nelson. I mean, I know he can outdo them, and he does. You know, he did in the past. He has outdone them in the past a couple times, but I mean, my goodness, like a 33-year-old Jordy getting taken over like some Mike Evans and A.J. out there. That's some hype.
All right, Melvin Gordon before LaShawn McCoy here, which you don't see that too often either. Usually McCoy is kind of locked in for like that 7th spot overall. So there has been a little shakeup here in the first round so far.
There goes McCoy at 9. Finally, my goodness, I was chomping. I mean, now I'm at 11.
You were probably in a great spot.
This is great.
Here.
I mean, either way, I was going to get Mike Evans or A.J. Green, but I was kind of feeling the Mike Evans this time around, but Mike Evans just went. So I'm just going to go ahead and feel still wonderful about myself and get a very top-tier wide receiver here in A.J. Green at the 11th hole.
And A.J. Green, there's no reason why this guy can't finish as a top 3 wide receiver. I mean, he was the number 1 PPR wide receiver before getting injured last year. And I don't think the weapons really around him got any better. So I feel like he's poised once again for a huge year. All right, this guy at the turn. Devontae Freeman off the board and Jordan Howard. So double dipping on some running backs there.
Yeah, he went running back heavy. And I don't know. I've done a lot of mock drafts, especially from the tail end of the drafts. And every time I've gone running back, just to see how it shifts out, I am just not in love with my number 1 wide receiver or number 2 wide receiver at any. I think if you're at the tail end, you have to at least scoop up one of these top tier wide receivers, or you'll be regretting it. Because I mean, Devontae Freeman and Jordan Howard are solid picks, but running backs are way more injury prone out there. I'm going to stoop up a guy who just has an absolute incredible ceiling. I'm going to double down. I'm going to go wide receiver. And like I said, I think there will be running back value to be had in these later to mid rounds. And I'm going to scoop up A.J. Green and Michael Thomas here at the 11.
Yeah, I love it. A lot of mocks that I've been doing from the 11th spot, I've done that exact same thing. I feel like you can feel like you're going out there. You might have the 2 best wide receivers every single week out there. Michael Thomas is just going to absolutely blow it up with Drew Brees. All right, guy who took Mike Evans here, getting some Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi has been creeping up to about that 12th overall, 13th overall here.
Yeah, he's been going right around that turn area, and I really do like the upside of Jay Ajayi, especially with Pouncey back and healthy. But I just couldn't resist the love of Michael Thomas. I just got to think to myself, if I was in a league and somebody offered me Jay Ajayi for Michael Thomas, would I turn them down? The answer is yes. So that is why I drafted Michael Thomas or Jay Ajayi right here.
All right, T.Y. off the board there. And Andrew Luck, if he's looking, there's possible lingering rumors that he might miss the first 6 weeks of the season. I don't know.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I think he might be throwing a little smoke and mirrors out there for this talking about, I don't know if I'm going to be ready for week 1. But it is concerning because I do not believe he will play a single snap in the preseason. Not a single snap.
But even if you're a T.Y. owner, I don't know. I feel like that is something you have to very close pay attention to. Obviously, T.Y. can turn it on down the stretch in your playoff run, but if we're looking at 6 weeks before he even is able to throw a ball, 6 weeks you could easily be out of the postseason discussion in fantasy. All right. Another guy going running back here, the Melvin Gordon guy, 8 overall, taking DeMarco Murray. Which I feel like his value has slid over the past month.
Yeah.
He was going about that turn, and right now he's kind of getting into close to that mid-second.
I've seen him go late second even in a few drafts, but I just think his value, Derrick Henry is probably going to be looking to snipe those goal line carries and probably a lot of short yardage work and maybe even a series or two here and there. I just think there is no way DeMarco Murray can perform as good as he did last season. Whoa, Doug Baldwin, that's about as high as I've ever seen old Dougie Fresh go there.
This guy's kind of reaching about a half round for everyone here.
Jordy and then Doug, he likes guys and he goes and gets them, apparently.
All right, I'm on the clock here. I know I've done a lot of other mocks where I've taken Leonard Fournette around this area, but I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to take Amari Cooper. I feel like he has established a very nice floor, and he has really, really fizzled off down the stretch for you last 2 seasons. But I feel like once he does put it together, this guy can be a top 5 fantasy play from the wide receiver position.
If you start looking at there's been some wide receivers go here in this draft. If you start looking at the guys that are still available, there's not very much behind him unless you're like a Brandon Cooks believer that he's just going to click in New England and blow up a Winchell's up there.
Or Dez. Dez has gone anywhere in the second round, and he's obviously
I'm just saying the only dudes I would consider over Amari Cooper right now would be Brandon Cooks. You're talking about DeAndre Hopkins and Dez, and even Demaryius Thomas, and you just start getting into the deeper in the third, fourth turn there with those guys. So I think the Amari Cooper, to this draft, I think that's a good value.
All right, Hopkins is off the board there. All right, and then Todd Gurley. So there's 3 teams going running back.
I just can never get invested in Todd Gurley. Not even a 90-yard game last year. He was just a serious play to piss. He was just a big old dirty play to piss for you. And I'm just not sure he's going to turn back into.
I feel like he can't get any worse.
I don't know. He might turn into like a Happy Meal. I don't think he's going to get back into that section.
He might be that top end
surf and turf.
I don't think
he's surf and turf. I think he's play to piss.
Could be the top end RB2 discussion, but from where you're drafting him as. Let's the 10th overall running back. I just don't know if he's going to put up top 10 numbers.
That offense needs to show me something before I can get back behind Todd Gurley again. We got Leonard Fournette, another guy who plays for a bad football team, but I just think Leonard Fournette's talent and the Jaguars are just slightly better than the Rams. I just would definitely have gone Fournette over Gurley in that situation. Got our first quarterback going, Aaron Rodgers.
The first non-running back or wide receiver.
Yeah, it's been stacking. Like I said, a lot of those wide receivers are gone. You took Cooper. That was definitely the value. That was value at that point. And we got Dez Bryant and then Brandon Cooks go on the turn, guys we just referenced before. And finally, our first tight end went, and Rob Gronkowski. I thought maybe, just maybe, someone has seen the light, and Travis Kelce would be the first tight end to go off the board, but he's just... What is going on here? We got a caller. Oh, Tinker's Fantasy Football.
Hello? What's this I hear about the listener leagues already being full? I sent you guys an email and you didn't even send me an invite.
Oh man, I sent everyone an invite that sent me an email. So if you, I mean, maybe you didn't check your spam folder or something. I don't know, but I definitely sent you one out there, bud.
Oh, what a bunch of cockamamie bullshit, guys. I mean, you know, you just blacklisted me because I called in last
What?
season talking about hard cocks. You know, I mean,
Well, you did.
That's right, you know. That fantasy football made my dick hard, and you just cocked me over. I mean,
I didn't know.
don't think my cock could ever been this soft.
Oh, for fuck, I'm just gonna let him go. I mean, the guy said cocks like 8 or 10 times. I don't even fucking know anymore. He's out there screaming about cocks. He's upset. I'll send him a couple of koozies just to make up for it or something out there. But he's got the hate in his heart for us right now. I swear to all that I sent him an invite, but old hard cocks guy.
All right, what do we say? We said Cooks was off there, and then we just had
Gronk. I think I was talking about the first tight end and Gronk going.
We had back-to-back tight ends. We had Gronk and Kelsey
We gotta catch up. It's almost your pick out there. The hard Cox guy is trailing on us. Trail Pryor. That's high on Pryor.
Is high.
I love me some Pryor. I mean, this guy is on the. I mean, he did pick Todd Gurley before him, so making me look bad on my Pryor love with the Gurley Pryor. But I am in on some Pryor.
Marshawn Lynch, he's been sliding too.
It's a little scary out there talking about maybe he gets under 100, I mean, under 200 carries. I mean, I still think, I mean, if he does get close to that 200 carry mark for the Raiders, I just think he will at least be able to return very high-end, sexy RB2 value. But he has fallen about almost a full round since that blurb came out there.
And I was kind of thinking about him. I still don't have a running back, and, you know, I think just the value isn't quite there to fall in love with a running back. So I'm going to get a guy who just has a very, very nice floor as my third wide receiver, and that's Demaryius Thomas. I feel like his hip is fully healthy. If he's playing, there is no way, absolutely no way he's anywhere lower than a wide receiver 2 for you. So I'm rocking Antonio Brown, Amari Cooper, and Demaryius Thomas. Guys with excellent floors with some serious ceiling as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Demaryius Thomas is such a sexy floor compared to the guy who was just taken after him in Sammy Watkins. We got Landry, who, you know, another nice floor guy. He's usually going like a few picks later, usually in that early 4th, but I'm not hating on this pick whatsoever. And right now, I'm just hoping and praying that Isaiah Crowell falls to me to be my number 1 running back after I took the A.J. Green and Michael Thomas. But, my heartbreaker dream taker on me, Isaiah Crowell is gone.
You can't say people's names.
I know, you just can't say it. You bring these dudes, you say it.
You can name drop and it's done.
It's like, even on these things, like when I go and I click to put them in my prep list, like as soon as I click them, it like turns gray. It's like, he's gone. So you gotta pretend it's like they see me, you know. It's like they got their spies on me out there with their fucking.
You got Roger Goodell spying on
Snowden. It's getting serious.
Tom Brady's off the board, so who are you looking at here?
I mean, I'm not really in on this guy, and I'm not really that big a believer, but this is a little bit later than he is going. He's usually going about that early 3rd, and I'm just going to, I don't know, I mean, I need a running back. I do. I need a running back right now. I'm just going to bite the bullet, and I'm just going to take Lamar Miller right now. I feel bad. I already feel bad about it.
I mean, he started out the season as a very, very nice floor play, and then it just kind of fell out from you. Hopefully, with a better quarterback situation, maybe a little less Lamar Miller is a good thing in the long run, more efficient. All right, this guy is getting crazy here, taking his 3rd running back. Christian McCaffrey is off the board.
Yeah, I was staring at McCaffrey, but I just don't know. I mean, they are talking about
I feel like that is also dicey as well. And Lamar Miller, is going to be pretty much the only guy there.
I just can't go into the season with Christian McCaffrey as my RB1. That is just so unsavory to me. I just can't do it. At least I know Lamar Miller is out there toting the rocks for football teams. For fuck's sakes.
Keenan Allen's off there.
All right, I'm feeling this too. I'm about to get a flex play wide receiver 3 deluxe, and I'm in love with it because I think I can still score my RB2 in the next round. And I'm going to go Devontae Adams with AJ Green, Michael Thomas, and Devontae Adams. We're talking about 3. We're probably possible wide receiver 1s in 12-team leagues. I mean, they all finished.
Adams finished top 7.
Adams was the ninth in PPR leagues. Michael Thomas was right around there, and then if AJ Green would have stayed healthy, I mean, he would have been the top 3, at least top 5 players. So we're looking at 3 middle range to back in wide receiver 1s on my football team, and I am in love with it.
All right, Ty Montgomery. And I really do like Montgomery. I would feel a lot more comfortable if he is your second running back, which he is on this guy's team, with the Ajayi in the second round and then the Montgomery here in the 4th. I feel like there's some serious upside, and I feel like this is his first full off season where he has actually dedicated himself to being a running back.
Yeah, I was watching the NFL Network, and they're going, camp to camp, and they were talking to a few guys talking about how they're very excited to see what Ty Montgomery can do this season with more workload and a little more weight put on. Allen Robinson just went. We got Greg Olsen. That's kind of paying the piper for Greg Olsen. I mean,
that's above Jordan Reed too, but above Jordan Reed, above Jimmy Graham.
Oh my goodness, that is some Greg Olsen love. And I know he was like the #1 tight end last year, but the tight ends were down in the dumps last year. I mean, Greg Olsen's only had one touchdown after his bye week, so I just can't get on old man Greg Olsen this season. I think Jordan Reed just went, so we got tight end love. This guy still doesn't have a running back.
Still no running back. And I don't have a running back either, but I'm going to take one right now. In the 4th round, there's a few guys I really like, and I'm hoping to go running back here. There's about 4 names that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Mixon, I'm looking at Cook, I'm looking at Woodhead, I'm looking at Gillislee. I'm hoping to get 2 of those guys.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get at least one of those guys from an RB2, add Coleman into that list to hopefully one of those guys can slide down to me in the second to last pick here in the 5th round.
All right, so I'm going to take Joe Mixon here. I feel like Delvin Cook, I really love that pick, but I feel like he still could get some goal line touches away from him with Latavius Murray signing. I feel like Joe Mixon's ceiling just absolutely is incredible in this offense.
Oh, Dalvin Cook just went. Oh no, my running back. Please stop taking running backs, people. I'm going to need one of them in the late 5th. Then we got Alshon. That's fine. He was going mid-3rd to late 3rd there for a while. This is late 4th.
That is a nice pick, too.
This is good value for the Alshon, so I do like this guy's last 2 picks and prior, and especially with the value on Alshon. We got a couple more wide receivers in Martavis Bryant and Michael Crabtree. And I swear to God, Michael Crabtree goes the second to last pick in the 4th round like every single mock draft I do. I swear to God. All right, we got Drew Brees go. Oh, no, we got Danny Woodhead, another one of my running back prospects. I know you're going to take one of them, so it's getting real thin for me. I only got, 2 dudes left that I'd be even interested in Gillislee and Coleman? Oh, no, I got 10 picks to get there. This is dark times, boys.
Tyreek Hill, 2nd pick in the 5th round. That might be the latest that I have seen him go.
Oh, well, that's great value, too.
He's been going early 4th. Sometimes if people get crazy, they want to take him with that second.
That's
like
great
the low in the
value.
last 2 picks in the 3rd. I feel like Tyreek Hill in the 5th, if he's your 2nd or even your 3rd wide receiver on your team, that is incredible ceiling.
We got Diggs here, kind of an unsavory 5th round pick, something that I wouldn't really try to get on. Another unsavory pick here, and Spencer Ware. Try to buy. I think Kareem Hunt will eventually steal, at least bite into that workload enough where Spencer Ware becomes almost unstartable.
All right, Paul Perkins is off, so that means
which one of the 2 are you going to take, you dirt bag? Yeah.
I'm going to take Gillislee here. He has been getting the goal line work. In
first
camp
goal line,
so
carry a camp out there,
so that
boys.
Is good news if you're a Gillislee believer. But you kind of maybe want to shush those reports a little more so you can keep him at this 5th round pick.
Don't tell your league mates. Keep it down.
He's been going, 7th to 6th. Now I'm taking him in the mid 5th. If he shows up in camp,
I thought I was gonna be able to walk into Gillislee when I took Adams in the early fourth. It just didn't happen.
If it gets crazy,
it just didn't happen. I'm worried. If Coleman doesn't come to me right now, I'm staring death right in the face for my RB2.
Look at how Bilal Powell is your RB1.
I mean, I like me some Bilal Powell, but every week in and week out, RB2 Bilal Powell, I just don't. I mean, I got to see him. See how he's doing. See how they're using their backs in preseason before I get invested in something like that.
The running back is off, but it's Abdullah, so you gotta like to see that.
See, this is what happens. I mean, the guy should have took Coleman, but this is what happens when you don't take your running back until the 5th round. Your RB1 becomes Amir Abdullah, and that is the grossest thing.
Two games last year.
Oh.
I know there's a good ceiling. But
he didn't do very sexy in his rookie season either. He was fumbleitis looking.
But you can't
dirty, not scoring at all.
Count on these guys.
No,
that's the thing. You can draft these guys, but if you're drafting them, they better be your 2nd or 3rd running back already.
You can't go into your RB1 Amir Abdullah. That is disgusting. All right, we got Matt Ryan go out the board. That's some Matt Ryan love right there too. Usually he's going a little bit later than that, but that's down. I'm down with the Matt Ryan love.
Snead is.
He's
kind of been creeping up there in the late fifth.
Coleman, I need you, baby. One more pick. This guy has 2 running backs already, so I feel like I got a chance. All right, Julian Edelman.
I feel like you got lucky with the 3 guys ahead of you. They all had 2 running backs already.
I got lucky. If I wouldn't have got Coleman, we would have been staring straight at Adrian Peterson, C.J. Anderson, and Bilal Powell, and I just don't know. I mean, Tevin Coleman, I know he's technically like a second fiddle on a very high-powered offense, but I'm going to take that sexy second fiddle.
Yeah, even with that said, I think he can easily be a back-end RB1 to high-end RB2.
All right. What I'm staring at now, if this turn guy doesn't take him, I'm staring at me some Jamison Crowder, thinking about putting him in my second flex and my wide receiver 4. And if we're talking about A.J. Green, Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, and Jamison Crowder, I mean, that's hellfire and brimstone. And Derek Carr, who else we got? Don't do it. Oh, Golden. How are you going to take Golden Tate? I mean, I know Golden Tate has a decent floor. We're talking about.
But I feel like
absolute
Jamison Crowder's floor is also very nice.
Very nice. I think his floor is what he did last season, and that was wide receiver 25. Which, you know, at this point, wide receiver 25, maybe it'd be a little bit of a reach, but I'm a believer that my boy Jamison Crowder is a minimum.
Be in that 15 to 20 range. I really do.
I think bare minimum, if he stays healthy, we're talking about mid-range wide receiver 2, but potential of sexy deluxe high-end wide receiver 2.
I mean,
I'm going to scoop him up so quick, baby.
Deshaun Jackson out, Pierre Garçon out. I don't think there's
I'm going to go get us some water. I don't care.
I don't think there's any way that he's not catching at least 80, maybe 90. Could get crazy 100 balls here. All right, this guy already 2 running backs in J.J. and Ty Montgomery. He's taking his 3rd running back. He's getting Adrian Peterson here, which, I mean, for your 3rd running back, I feel like isn't too bad, but still he's going to have to touch on some other wide receivers here.
Yeah, baby.
All right, another guy.
I have returned.
Oh, knocking figures.
Knocking over figures.
Knocking out another running back here. Running backs are just going like crazy. Carlos Hyde is off the board, and they're saying that Tim Hightower is taking first-team reps at camp. And with that said, I don't know how you get on Carlos Hyde.
You can't even touch him. He's untouchable, bro.
They're talking about surprise cuts. Then he looks really good. And then he's second team behind Tim Hightower. And if that means that, I don't see how Joe Williams is not a steal and later in these rounds.
Yeah, I don't see how. I mean, if they're going to go, they're talking about, I mean, Tim Hightower, I mean, my goodness. Brian Hoyer, Tim Hightower show? People aren't going to buy tickets to that shit. It's gross. You got to at least get the young buck in there and see what he's got. My goodness.
It's so boring.
Boy, terrible.
All right, Emmanuel Sanders going off. which is good. This is the highest I think I've seen Sanders go in a while.
Got some tanker listeners out there,
in
Jeff.
this mid-6. He's been going, I think, ADP at the, beginning 7th,
Yeah,
mid-7?
early to mid-7, so this is almost a full round up. And good for you, Emmanuel Sanders.
All right, Russell Wilson is off the board. So this guy with their Amir Abdullah is still looking for his RB2, and I feel like it's going to get gross.
He's looking for his RB1. He is. He's not.
All right. I am taking my second flex here in Dante Moncrief. And I know there is question marks with Andrew Luck, but still, Dante Moncrief, he is a touchdown machine if he is on the field. And I feel like I can maybe get some high upside guys later. So if he can start the season healthy, maybe patch it up for a few weeks, I feel good about it.
Let C.J. Anderson go. Not very
Fourth
saving.
running back.
Fourth running back. And only one of them I'm really on. And Dalvin Cook. I mean, beast mode, I'm kind of like beast mode. But if those... beast mode is your RB1's a little bit scary out there, I guess. And Paul Perkins is a guy who could just, turn to dust in the wind. Paul Perkins is all right out there, but I just don't think the Giants are ever looking to be running footballs. All right, Larry Fitzgerald go. Then Mark Ingram. There's my boy Bilal Powell, late 6 Bilal Powell. Okay, I guess I am on decent value here. He just has to get another running back here relatively soon to kind of make sure Bilal Powell isn't the illusion of grandeur. All right, we got in the turn at LeGarrette Blount and Pierre Garçon. That is high here. When we did those ADPs, what was Pierre Garçon going, like mid-8th?
Yeah.
Just went first pick in the 7th.
I mean,
Pierre Garçon,
I feel like he is going to be a target machine, but still, I don't know.
The Niners are going to be losing football games.
I mean, I do.
Hoyer can throw the ball. He's just not very good at throwing interceptions. He didn't technically get in the end zone very much, but he throws.
I do like Pierre Garçon, but I'm looking at some other guys, and I'm looking at Brandon Marshall is still available.
I don't know.
And I'm not in love with Brandon Marshall, but if you're drafting Brandon Marshall as your third wide receiver here, or even a guy like Deshaun Jackson is on the board.
That's what I was going to bring up. That's who I would have considered over Pierre Garçon. Probably some DJ.
But Brandon Marshall, what did we say in ADP's first pick in the 6th?
Yeah,
so he's still available.
Fallen.
He's still available here in the 7th.
He has fallen considerably.
All right, Doug Martin and Derrick Henry off the board.
Jimmy Graham, I like Jimmy Graham value there in the 7th. If you're looking to wait on your tight end, I think Jimmy Graham is that first tight end off the board for these guys that wait a little bit longer. D-Jax.
There it is.
There he is, baby.
All right.
All right, who you on? What you got?
All right. I'm going to take a nice PPR back here just in case. Really solidify myself. If Joe Mixon does not turn out to be the man, and if for some reason Mike Gillislee is not getting that LeGarrette Blount work, I'm going to get a guy who I can seriously think I can plug in about any week, and that's Theo Riddick here. And last season, he averaged over 5 catches a game.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not an Amir Abdullah believer, which we aren't, I mean, we're talking about Theo Riddick in the mid-7th. I mean, PPR leagues, that is considerable value.
All right, Terrence West.
Kenneth Dixon gets hurt. People think Terrence West is good.
So Amir Abdullah and Terrence West are this guy's starting running backs.
They're selling postcards at the hanging, and they're painting the passports brown because this guy has just entered Desolation Row. We got Kelvin Benjamin gone. We got a couple of tight ends here going. Delaney Walker and Martellus Bennett. And, I did get some Lamar Miller and some Tevin Coleman, and those aren't the sexiest sexy boys out there. So I'm going to try to get some high upside bench player because I'm still going to sit on it for my quarterback and tight end because I'm looking at those lists and I like about 4 or 5 guys on both lists, so I'm going to sit on it for a little while. And I'm just going to take some high upside right now and get me some Perrine from the Washington Redskins.
All right,
Feeling
and
it.
Brandon Marshall just off the board. So he goes from, when we did our average draft positions, the first pick in the 6th round, I believe it was.
I mean, if I wouldn't have had
Here's
4 wide
in the
receivers
last-
already, I would have considered him.
Here he is in the last pick of the 7th. This guy's almost turned into an 8th rounder. All right, there's Tyler Eifert
Eifert.
there.
That's decent value, too. Tyler Eifert, you know, he is kind of more of a... He's not really a reception or a yards guy, but if he can be, I mean, watch out.
If he's healthy, this guy's like a top 5 play at the tight end position.
Possibly even top 3 if he can really stay on the football field looking good out there. All right, I'm going to do another thing that I don't normally do, but we are talking about the 8th round, and I feel like the Seattle running back situation, you can, like, both of them are going, I'm talking about Lacey and, you know, Procise and Rawls, all of them are going at handcuff prices. So I think I can score 2 of the 3 here and maybe even work out with my RB2 out of the situation coming out of these mid to late rounds. And I'm going to go Eddie Lacy right now in the early 8th. And I don't know, I guess, I had a little comments thing going on with the guy in one of our videos, and he's kind of, maybe I started looking into it after that, and maybe he's persuaded me that if Lacey can fall to the 8th for you, it's kind
Which
of
it has happened.
It has
here.
happened, and it is, maybe that's some tasty value.
And he's your 3rd running back, so you don't have to throw him out there. You can wait, you can see.
Wait and see, baby, and I'm in love with that, and I think I can get Rawls in like the 11th or 12th here. I think Procise might go before it comes back to me, but I think I can get Rawls in the 11th or 12th. I can go
And
in.
Rawls has been getting absolutely no respect. All right, Randall Cobb's off the board. Andrew Luck is off the board.
Wow,
right.
dirty Frank Gore.
Frank Gore and Duke Johnson.
Yeah, Frank Gore was a
Very
bad pick, but
nasty
Duke
picks.
Johnson is a worse one.
Duke Johnson is on the... I mean, this team is just bad. This guy's got Abdullah West and Duke Johnson. I don't know what is happening. Not to mention Sammy Watkins. And he overdrafted, in my eyes, on Jordy and Doug. Even though I do love both of those players, I feel like you could have got a better value there. So
All right, what are you on here? You gonna finally splurge on a tight end or a quarterback, are you?
time has come where we're looking at the cliff and we're seeing it, and I feel like I'm going to get the last guy who we're just talking about no respect from Thomas Rawls, who's been going late. We're talking Kyle Rudolph here, who I'm scooping up in the mid-8.
No respect.
Absolutely no respect. Number 2 PPR number 2 PPR tight end last year.
Oh, no respect for the reindeer games. We had a nice little quarterback run after that pick, which is kind of making me think maybe I should start considering quarterback here the next couple of rounds. We had Rivers. That's a high. That's a lot. That's real high on Rivers. Rivers going 12th for 13th a lot of times.
Yeah, Rivers above Roethlisberger and Winston, who went the 2 picks right after him.
That's paying. That's a Rivers love.
We're talking Philip Rivers went, let's see, 4 picks after Andrew Luck.
4 picks, Philip Rivers. Yeah, I know he's solid. He's kind of your guy who you kind of just went like a bye week sexy play, and he was going at that price, but not today.
I don't see that a consistent pattern.
We got Jeremy Maclin, who slid down here a little bit since the Flacco injury news. You know, that makes me consider these back situations is serious business. And I mean, if Joe Flacco isn't on the football field, you can almost put every Baltimore receiver in the tank. Put them in the tank, tag and bag them. They're done.
And we're talking, Mallett's their backup there?
Oh.
Like, this guy, threw like 6 interceptions?
Yeah.
Like,
the only guy with possibly any hope with Flacco out would probably be Woodhead, just because you're looking to dump it off so many damn times. So in PPR realms, at least you get to get some Woodhead action. But everybody else, I think, becomes instant unstartable. All right, what we got?
Zach Ertz off the board, so it's getting even more thin at that tight end position.
Baby, oh man, we're gonna let it dig. Eric Decker just went. Now there goes Procise. So my dreams of that, I'm gonna have to rely on that Rawls pick here in a couple rounds. John Brown, which is, it is what it is, and we got some Kareem Hunt there for you. That's a decent pick. I kind of in love with some Kareem Hunt this year. I think he will get a majority of the workload by week 5, maybe 6 out there. They have to see the talent is there over the likes of Spencer Ware. I
don't know if it's more so that the talent's so much more or that Spencer Ware is just so not the guy.
Yeah, he's just middle and bum. Okay. Another guy went here. Who we got? Hunter Henry, and you are up.
All right, I'm going to take a guy. This is my 5th wide receiver, and I'm going to take Cameron Meredith for the Bears here. I don't know. I just feel like this guy can put up like
value.
High-end wide receiver 3, maybe back-end wide receiver 2 with the volume he's going to get. And I feel like the Bears are going to be down a lot like we were talking with Pierre Garçon.
You might end up starting him over Moncrief.
Very well could.
Especially if Luck's not out there. I mean, Meredith, my goodness, that is a great bench player to go into the season with, a guy who could easily get into that back-end wide receiver 2 conversations, being the top target for a guy like Mike Glennon, who just likes to dial in on his number 1 guy. We got Devontae Parker just went. The Mariota, it's getting kind of, I'm holding out. Hopefully these quarterbacks tight ends, and I think I might be able to still get me some, baby. We got some J Stu. And some Marvin Jones, which is whatever. That guy can have himself some Marvin Jones. I'm just going to steal me a rookie here. I haven't drafted a rookie yet. And this is definitely the number 1 rookie wide receiver here going in the late 9th. I'm going to give me some Corey Davis.
Yeah, none of these rookie wide receivers really excite me too much. But I feel like Corey Davis, if there is a guy who can absolutely blow it up for someone, I feel like it's got to be him. I don't see John Ross necessarily being a consistent weekly player for you in Cincinnati.
Not for the Bengals.
And the other guys, there's too many other gadget players like Zay Jones, who I really like late, who's a gadget player, but I don't feel like he's a weekly
Taylor,
play.
Buffalo Bills, not sexy either.
All right, O.J. Howard. Jamal Charles.
And this is just great. I am going to do this. I know. Cam Newton in the 10th round. My goodness.
We're talking.
How the mighty have fallen out there.
Phillip Rivers was taking 4 quarterbacks above Cam Newton.
And this is every other year. Cam Newton is a top 5 quarterback, and this is that every other year. I just got his ass in the 10th round. So if he's going that 9th, 10th round, do not feel ashamed and get on the Cam bandwagon, especially in most leagues that reward for rushing and rushing touchdowns.
All right, Latavius Murray is off. Kirk Cousins. All right, quarterbacks are getting a little thin here.
Getting thin.
All right, Adam Thielen in the 10th, and that has been consistent.
That's about where he goes, 10th round all day, but that is decent value. We got another decent value. Go play right after him in Quincy Enunwa. Kind of another Cameron Meredith situation with Quincy Enunwa. Best wide receiver on a shit team situation.
All right. I feel like I've waited long enough, and I am excited. And even though this is a little higher than where he usually goes, I'm looking at these quarterbacks, and I feel like they're just starting to fly off.
Or Stafford. That's the only guy left.
I'm looking between Eli Manning and Stafford.
That's it.
I took Eli Manning, and this guy's incredibly consistent. We're talking 30-plus touchdowns, talking 4,300 yards.
Yeah, he's averaged 4,300 yards and 30 touchdowns the last 3 seasons. My goodness. And with the upgrade in targets, with the Evan Ingram, and I saw Evan Ingram out there in training camp. My goodness, if he does anything, it's look the part, boys, because he looks like a beast out there. They're putting him in the slot. Yeah, watch out.
And Brandon Marshall, another red zone threat for him. All right, Tyrell Williams. They made a defense go.
James White. Some Corey Coleman, possible number 1 wide receiver for a really shitty football team, which I just can't get on. Outside the Crow, every Browns player in my eyes is unsavory. We got Forte go, and some Jordan Matthews. Defense action, we got some Kenny Britt.
Who actually right now is the number 1.
You would think so. Not in my gun. You just can't give him the nod. Even the depth chart says so. I'm not giving it to him.
All right, we talked about it earlier, and I feel like it's time. We talked about Carlos Hyde. not even getting first team reps. Tim Hightower is above him, and I'm taking Joe Williams.
Gotta do it.
I feel like there's no way that Joe Williams does not become a starter by the end of the year. I feel like that is impossible.
Impossible. Let some Fat Rob go. And some Mike Wallace, and if anybody is going to turn into absolute dust in the wind if Joe Flacco isn't on the field, it is Mike Wallace.
He is the deep threat catcher,
Yeah.
and if Joe Flacco can throw the ball
he
as
huck it,
far
chuck
as
it.
anyone
He huck it, chuck
in the
it.
league, and if he's not getting that, he is nothing.
Finally, Stafford, that is the last of the Mohicans as far as decent quarterback plays go on a weekly basis. And I think, just to make sure I get him, I'm going to go ahead and scoop up Thomas Rawls here in the late 11th to get me that Lacey Rawls connection.
I was thinking,
I like it.
I was thinking the Rawls over Joe Williams, but I knew you had the strategy.
I needed that strategy. I overpaid for him. Usually goes in like the 13th. I overpaid for him here because I needed the love. All right, we got some John Ross. I got the rifle, Andy Dalton go.
He drafted him as the second quarterback, and I feel like that is one of the best backup quarterbacks in fantasy you can have.
Definitely.
I feel like any given week he can hit you up with those 300 yards, especially with John Ross on the outside. With A.J. Green, like I said, I don't know if John Ross is ever going to be a consistent player for you this year, but he's going to have some big weeks catching some big, deep balls.
All right, I'm going to take a guy, they mentioned Marshall Falk in the same conversation as his name, and I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but if you ever say Marshall Falk's name with your name in the same sentence, I damn down with drafting you in the 12th round. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with some Alvin Kamara right now.
And I've always loved the Alvin Kamara here. I don't know, I feel like he is going to get some decent third down work to start the season. And with the injury histories and the aging of Adrian Peterson and Mark Ingram, which are both going in like the 5th to 6th round.
The only guy I thought about possibly was Marlon Mack, just because I don't know. This Colt running back is not something I really want to kind of rely on. I just think a guy like Alvin Kamara might need an injury to open the gates for him out there.
But I feel like once those gates are open,
if given the opportunity, I think he can. I think
he can be a legitimate RB2 if one of these two guys goes down. In terms, we're talking Ingram and Peterson.
He's going to be getting play time regardless. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be catching some balls out there for him. It's just it's just going to be game flow that determines a lot of Kamara's weekly play, and that's kind of a hard thing to rely on in fantasy.
All right, so we had a run here of Taylor Gabriel, Rashard Matthews, a couple defenses. It's my turn here. I know you were talking about it, so therefore I'm gonna go for it. But I was staring at his name anyway. Marlon Mack. I feel like he is another guy where I don't know if it's as clear cut as Joe Williams to eventually become a starter, but I feel like if I was a betting man, I would say Marlon Mack will be the starter by the end of the year over Frank Gore.
You would hope so. All right, Tyrod Taylor go. Then some Eric Ebron action. Another quarterback from Dak Prescott. A couple of running backs here, and Jacquizz Rodgers, and then Jamal Williams.
Honestly, Jacquizz Rodgers.
That's not so bad.
In the 12th, I feel like if you want to let the ship sail on running backs a little bit, maybe you get a bunch of rookies late and you don't want to throw them in right away. You can start Rodgers, first 3 weeks here, and who knows? They said that they're not just going to hand the job back over to Doug Martin. I mean, it could get crazy.
Yeah,
and by crazy, I mean back-end RB2.
Yeah, back-end RB2. And Jacquizz Rodgers just looked pretty unsavory out there.
1.5 games.
He was a scat back that didn't have too much scat left in him out there. He was looking pretty crusty.
They gave him like 55
ridiculous.
carries in
My
the game.
goodness, playing high school football out there. 117 died for the rest of your life.
I think like the first drive, didn't he have like 10 carries?
It's gonna be cold.
Something insane.
And it's gonna be dark. Jacquizz Rodgers is going to be there for the rest of your life.
Josh Doxson's off. Cole Beasley's off. Robert Woods. Alright. Now we had Will Fuller.
All right, what are you on?
Alright, I said his name
Saying
earlier
his name.
here, so I feel like it's got to be time. 13th
Saying his
round.
name.
Zay Jones, I'm taking. He's not a consistent player, or I don't expect him to be whatsoever, especially with Tyrod Taylor being the quarterback there. I'm kind of relying on
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins doing Sammy Watkins things, which
not
is
being able to
getting
stay on the
injured.
football field.
So we could be talking Zay Jones somehow is number one on the depth chart
Yeah.
sometime throughout the season for Buffalo.
He could find his way possibly into your lineup on some bye weeks. There's some action out there. Maybe you have some injuries. But, you know, he is a high upside rookie.
And I feel like he will,
13th round.
and he will be taking some carries too. I feel like he is kind of a gadget player for him.
Carson Wentz go, and Sterling Shepard, which is another guy in love with in those later rounds. He just went here in the late 13th. And I'm up, and I haven't even taken a tight end yet. I think I'm going to go back-to-back tight end here. And I'm going to scoop, first of all, I'm going to scoop up the dad runner. Give me some dad runner here at the 11th pick in the 13th round. I know his ceiling is about as capped as about anybody's can get out there. But I just think his floor, if he's going to be on the football field, I know Andrew Luck is kind of up and down and dicey. But I want to take another guy, if he's still available here, has a very sexy high ceiling that we talked about earlier in Evan Ingram, and he is, because this Jirgoff for some reason is taking a kicker. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take me some Evan Ingram. And I'm talking rookie year Marcus Colston, when they used to do those leagues in Yahoo. When Marcus Colston was a rookie and Yahoo had him listed as a freaking tight end. I mean, everybody went out there and won leagues and reaped the benefits of it. And I know I made it sexy in a couple of them back in the day. And I think Evan Ingram is a guy who could return that sexiness for you.
Yeah, doubling down on the 13th and 14th round. We're talking Jack Doyle, Evan Ingram. Jack Doyle with Dwayne Allen out there. This is insane, but I really feel like he could possibly sneak into a top 12 tight end.
It could happen.
And Evan Ingram, once again, I feel like his ceiling is off the charts, where he could be talking. This guy could be like the next Brandon Marshall.
This guy, I mean, I saw him out there in training camp, and my fucking goodness, does he look the part, people. I mean, I was like, good
He's
lord.
not even a tight end.
No, he isn't.
He's like 220 pounds.
He's a beast out there in the slot, and it's going to get
Matchup nightmare.
absolutely crazy. All right, and we're looking at...
How far has Colby Fleener gone?
Oh, my
And this guy's getting, his
depth
stock
of the
fell in
sea.
half compared to last year. This guy's getting taken like 7th, 8th round, and now he's in the 14th. The hype is dead.
All right, you're up, baby.
All right, I'm going to get what I believe to be the handcuff in Cincinnati. I drafted Joe Mixon in the 4th. I've seen everything that Jeremy Hill has, and it is nothing except for touchdown dependence. So I feel like Giovanni Bernard, I know he might miss some games here, but I feel like he is the handcuff in this offense to have.
We got some Kevin White finally just went off the board. Carson Palmer, some Jeremy Hill. You have just fallen to the depths of the sea. Kenneth Dixon, that guy missed the memo. We got Tyler Lockett, and you're up here for the your last pick of the mock draft.
My last pick, I'll do Ted Ginn Jr. here. I feel like this is a play. It's gonna be a like a bye week play in my second flex. Hoping and praying that this guy catches at least one deep ball, because he can totally stretch
in best
the field.
ball leagues, I'm in love with the Ted Ginn pick this season.
Drew Brees can throw an incredible deep ball. Brandon Cooks is out. They're going to need someone to stretch the field, because Michael Thomas is going to be that possession receiver who's going to be looking to catch 100 balls here. So Ted Ginn could win you some weeks. I'm not saying leagues, but weeks.
Possible weeks. McFadden go.
James Conner. He's getting hyped.
This guy's hoping that Le'Veon Bell doesn't show up. James Conner's.
They are loving him, though.
Tell James Conner to fuck off. I'm a Le'Veon Bell owner in a keeper league, by the way. Tell James Conner to go fuck himself. Jonathan Williams on the board. I got some Darren Sproles. And I'm going to take a guy and hope, DeAndre Washington, maybe saying the wheels have fallen off of the old beast mode out there. And if that's the case, DeAndre Washington could get into some flex play value out there later in the season.
Why not?
Why not?
15th round.
Hell with it.
Last pick of the whole draft, we had Rashard Perriman go.
All right.
All right, so there it is.
Caps it off. We did 15 rounds for you. I wish we could do more, but I mean, I know these leagues are usually like 20-round leagues, but the calculator only offers 15-round drafts. And if you like what you heard, seen, and whatever the hell else you did out there, if you liked any of that shit, please subscribe below.
Subscribe below. We would love it if you gave us a thumbs up if you are still watching and you enjoyed the video. Leave us a comment. We always get back to you. We love talking with you. If you're in a listener league, they are coming up, baby.
Oh, the listener drafts are coming up, and we're going to get it sexy, baby.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you very soon here.